It's being delayed out of respect for the anniversary. You need to have respect for the anniversary of an assassination. Like, how fucking crazy does that sound? If anything, if it's respect for JFK, you'd release all of them and just stop. Hey, my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy, ZNF1 here. So, today we're going to discuss JFK's assassination and also the connections and like excuses that are made to further delay the releasing of these documentations. You know, it's been more than over 25 years. It's been 58 years, in fact, as of the 22nd, since JFK was brutally murdered. But before we go on and get into this, let's, cue intro. Mr. John F. Kennedy, great man, was going to change the world for the better in many different ways and expose a lot of secrets, to the general public, but ultimately got assassinated 58 years ago, roughly. His family deserves to know the whole truth of what exactly transpired that day. JFK was murdered on November 22nd, 1963, allegedly solely by Lee Harvey Oswald. And this is according to the CIA and FBI. This is despite the fact that in the original footage here, what you see is once the bullet impacts Kennedy to the head, it's apparently supposed to come from the depository, right? But what you see is Kennedy's head go southwest of its original posting and him sitting straight up. It was in the opposite direction of where the bullet impact came from. So the physics of that would show that you cannot shoot somebody from the 6th floor of the depository and hit Kennedy in the head the way it did and still have him go fling his head back from inertia towards where he was shot from. It's not logical. It denies physics. This implies that there was a second shooter. And that is the most logical conclusion you can come to. If you look at straight physics, it's hard to deny it. And then, on top of that, he was assassinated by one gunman from two different directions. Again, one from the depository, which is the exact opposite direction where the bullet impact came from, which was the northeast direction, because his head flew southwest because of the bullet inertia. Now, looking at this is completely illogical. It's not factual at all. And it's literally pitting blame on one individual to take the fall or to be a scapegoat, a patsy. Now, in addition to this, anyone else who shared the similar belief systems as him on divulging these secrets or anything close to it, like his brother, Secretary of Defense James Forrestal, they were all killed. And this is just them trying to speak out against the government or the mainstream narrative. There is a book that talks about this and the connection between James Forrestal and JFK and their shared interest in how Kennedy was inspired by James Forrestal, the first Secretary of Defense, in a book called Kennedy's Last Stand. Eisenhower, UFOs, MJ-12, and JFK's Assassination by Michael E. Sala with PhD. Now, the CIA, FBI, NSA, etc., they've been known to do many psychotic and corrupt things and covered it up, or at least attempted to. If it is uncovered, any of these things that they do, it generally takes a very long time to do so. The reason why they're so good at covering things up is because of the fact of the matter that they control the spread of information, and due to connections that they have, it's at least a little bit there. You can't deny that. Hence why they're so good at being able to keep wraps on information. And especially if they're to do like cover-ups or they have inside jobs, they can cover up quite well to protect their image and to get rid of any information they don't want the public to see. The majority of the time, documents are released from these agencies or these government bodies. They often have blacked out portions of this so people don't get to see the whole thing. Now, this is to cover any sort of sensitive military detail that might give enemy countries or just other countries' militaries, you know, with malicious intents, an advantage over our country and the safety of all of us and blah, 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 all that stuff, you know? However, though, they often take an obnoxiously long time to release documents like these, especially JFK's assassination records. There's not really stuff you need to cover up for that. The man's been dead for over 58 years. You'd think that his family could get a sense of, like, justice and closure in full. At least disclosure. Like, there's not really things on that you need to hide. Like, like, if it's as simple as they're saying it is, then there shouldn't be all this secrecy. There shouldn't be. More of the JFK assassination files are set to be released on December 15th of this year. And then slightly more, a whole nother year after that, to be carefully reviewed. Or it's being delayed out of respect for the anniversary. You need to have respect for the anniversary of an assassination? Like, how fucking crazy does that sound? If anything, if it's respect for JFK, you'd release all of them and just stop. But yeah, no, we're totally gonna get the whole truth and not just cut up sections. Most savage murders, homicides, assassinations, etc., they're found out in time, like 5 to 10 years at max, generally. I'm not 100% on those, but it doesn't really take that long when they aren't involved with some of these agencies. But anytime that they're miraculously involved with the CIA or the FBI, it's really hard to find out. And that's for multiple reasons. Why is that exactly? Well, there are two answers for that. The first being because people being extremely smart, and it's hard to figure that out due to connections and everything else. And then the second one that's really particular to what we're talking about here is they can control the spread of information. The more you realize that information is power, the harder it is to deny some of the things that have happened in the history of this country. Logic the shit out of these things, and it's really hard to deny that something is being hidden. Next thing we know, after all of this, there's a rise or a surge in the popularity of the phrase conspiracy theory. This phrase was coined by the FBI shortly after all this happened to sit there and be used towards anybody who had dissenting views towards their narrative or the mainstreams on JFK's assassination or anything that really involved the government. Just anybody that really spoke out against them. Also, again, think about how long they take to release documents like this It's several years or even decades after the events happened. Again, with large sections cut out. It's to hide things from US citizens. In cases like JFK's assassination papers, this is very unnecessary and it's really suspicious. Like, why does it need to take so long? It doesn't make sense. Like, it's about the man being assassinated. It's been 58 years. How much longer do you need? That's just what I think, though, and that's all the evidence that I have found. Come to your own conclusions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this, and just really what y'all think about how long it's taken to release these documents and the further delaying of them and the logic of all of it. Just tell me what you guys think. I'd love to hear it. Please don't forget to, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you guys do this and helps to show me what you're enjoying that I'm putting out there for you. As usual, my dudes, please don't forget to, live long and prosper, take care and peace, and keep it 1,000,000% real. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.
I'm not afraid, take my face and my name, paste it on the front page. I'm already famous and you'll never change it by hating or claiming you'll take it away.